Start recording there. Okay. All right, we're good. So, hello everyone. My name is Donna Marques. I am a community college instructor in California, and this is my 25th year. I don't know how that happened, but the years pass, right? So are we all French, Spanish, German, a mixture?
Spanish. The list says
There's
Spanish.
German over there.
German? French, Spanish. Okay. No Italian? No Italian. Okay. All right. Wonderful. So, as you all, I started teaching, in the dark ages with chalkboards, and when we got our first overhead projectors, we were so excited, with transparencies and right. And then these things came into the classroom, and we could use our computers, and oh my gosh, I can show my students real pictures of me in Spain, and right. And now it's like, everything has just exploded. So I've always been a person that was interested in computers, and as this whole online phase sort of started to unwind, I decided that I would dip my toe in and try hybrid, right? So I kind of started like that, and within 2 days of that class being open online for students to register, it was full with a wait list. So my colleagues and I looked at each other and went, oh, we're on to something here, right? So that first semester I did the hybrid, and I realized very quickly, wow, I can move this whole thing online. There are so many tools out there. So I went for it. And we had one section, same thing, full with a wait list. So my colleague said, how about you open a second section? Full with a wait list the next day. It's like, oh my goodness. So it just started to explode. That was about 10 years ago. So you can imagine where things have come today. I started my classes in Blackboard, like you all, and then the whole state of California moved to Canvas. I shouldn't say the whole state. All of the community colleges in California are now on Canvas. We wanted one uniform LMS so that students could, move around the state and not have problems trying to learn D2L and Moodle and so consequently, I was asked by other institutions to help me develop their online programs since ours became successful, and that's kind of how I've moved around and started talking with instructors all over the nation about different strategies for actually moving a language online and having students be able to speak when they get out of your class and understand the culture and read and write and do everything that we do in a face-to-face setting. So it's been wonderful. It's been a very interesting ride. And, it's hard for us because we're all teaching these students that, have grown up with literally a phone in their hands, right? And that's what they know, and we need to be able to speak that language to them. I have 2 teenage boys that, they would much rather FaceTime all their friends than actually be with their friends. And we don't understand that, right? We grew up when we were 16. We wanted our licenses at 16 so we could go out and be free. And these kids, they could care less, right? Like, oh, I can just FaceTime my friends. Why do I need a license? So these are the kids that we need to connect with, right? If we don't, they're not going to want, they're going to take all the other classes that are offered online, and language will just go by the wayside. So we can do it. And it's definitely doable, and there are hurdles to overcome and jump over, and It's nothing new, in education. It's just a new way of thinking, really. So with that, let's go ahead and get started here. Let's see if I can see. Everything looks so small on my. There we go. Okay. Are we here? Okay.
Donna,
No.
when did you start using Canvas?
We used Canvas. Let's see. Gosh, I think I've been using it maybe 3 years now, 4 years. The time starts to go so fast, right?
Yeah.
I used to, base everything on the years my children were born, and now that's too many years ago. So. I think it's been about 3 or 4 years. And you all are moving from Blackboard to Canvas, right?
Summer. We have a countdown calendar. Something like 42 days now.
You're going to love it. I mean, we all kicked and screamed and nobody wanted to move and nobody, oh God, what? How did this happen? And, everybody, right? It's like, no, we don't want it. And now everybody looks back and says, oh my, how did we ever use Blackboard? So you're going to love it. It is so easy. It is so easy. Yeah, you're going to look back at Blackboard and say, wow, that was so clunky.
It's still 1998 on Blackboard.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it is a dinosaur.
It's a dinosaur.
It's just like Microsoft, that everything has built that in a very old platform, and then they added stuff and it didn't work. So the newer stuff is a little bit more difficult to do.
That's right. Yep. And with Canvas, it just everything integrates so nicely. It's so drag and drop and it's
I
like,
only have one problem with Canvas.
what's that?
The accents. You really have to know
Your codes. Now on a Mac, you can just hold your letter down and it, right? But if
not
not,
every student remembers.
they have to do the codes. Yeah, the old school of the
Alt.
blah, blah, blah.
They ask
Yeah.
you or any other.
Mm-hmm. Right. Very true. All right, so here I am. That was when my hair was brown. I think my hair is still brown. I don't know if it's blonde or brown now. But Vistas finally gave me an email that I can access email from. So if you ever need to get a hold of me or want to ask me a question, that's a good email to find me, because I have so many different schools I'm associated with now. I can't remember who's from what school anymore. So, okay. All right. So let's talk about today. I'm going to start with course design, right? And best practices for designing courses in Canvas, specifically our courses. Our colleges seem to send us language teachers to this overall, okay, just everybody go here, and whether you're math, science, French, or basket weaving, you can all do the same thing. No. We cannot design our courses like a science or a math. It's completely different. And we have so many different components that we teach with our reading, our writing, our listening, our speaking. There's no way we can do what a math teacher is doing. It doesn't make any sense. So I have recently started working with, we have an online exchange program happening in California, and I started working with the bureaucracy, a big committee now. Of course, there's another 1,000 committee, right, that's overlooking and overseeing how courses are designed. So I've joined with them to become a course reviewer to help spread the word that not all material and subjects, I was thinking materia, subjects materials. That's the language, the interference from the language, right? They're not all created equal, and they can't all have a one-size-fits-all. So we're going to talk about best practices. And again, this has been, developed for, trial and error for a real teacher teaching real students across multiple modalities. So this one finally works. And every semester it's changing, right? We never do the same thing. So we're going to talk about design basics. We're going to talk about a very simple structure. One place to find everything. It's called an interactive homepage, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Talking about less blocks of text and more bulleted items. I probably don't need to tell you that your students don't read a darn thing. Okay? And just like yourself, if you get an email that has 4 big paragraphs in it, I don't know about any of you, but my first inclination is to go delete, because I can't read all that. No, I just can't do it, right?
TLTR.
That's right. It just, yeah. So bullet. Okay, think about this generation. They're the texters and the Snapchatters and the Instagrammers, and they are not reading a big paragraph. So don't bother writing it. Oh, my colleagues. Well, I need to tell them this. Okay. Go ahead if you feel that you need to. Nobody's going to be looking at it. So we have to change our thinking, right? Even though we like to communicate that way, they don't want to be communicated to that way. Consistency is huge. I have seen classes with Spanish flags and Mexican flags and waving and colors, and it's like, no. I understand we're language teachers, the pink fonts and that's not where all the beauty comes. In your design, you do not want all that beauty and culture and flags waving and music playing, and that doesn't happen in your design, because that is very disconcerting for a student. They just need to know where the information is. You can show your beauty of your language and your teaching style in your content, but not in your design. So we'll talk about the same fonts, the same headers, the same style, the same size, the same image sizes. People don't even realize that that's, a thing, right? They'll put pictures all over and different sizes and different shapes and different.
It works better here because this is one of the places or the devices that people will use.
That's right. Most of our students are going to be looking at things on their phone, right? Canvas is all mobile friendly. VHL SuperSite is mobile friendly. So that's really where they do most of their, it's rare that, look it up. Almost everyone in here has their laptop, right? I never work on the laptop. I'm always on the desktop at home. That's us. That's not them. So, if you have a huge picture of a, flamenco dancer, right? And then like a little picture of, a paella or something like that. It's not, yeah.
Donna, do you have the dimensions that are good?
Yep.
Okay.
We'll go over all of those too. And the thing is too, is, if it doesn't look good on the screen, and a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm putting it in there anyway, it's a great picture. And then it's pixelized, and what good does that do? That doesn't, even if it's a great picture, if the quality is not good, then don't use it. This is a big thing, 2 to 3 colors maximum. I have seen things with 1,500 different colors on the pages, and it's so easy to use your little dropper, your eyedropper. I'll show it to you on it's just an add-on onto your Chrome, and you can go and copy the color of anything and just use that same color over and over again. It's very, very easy to do. Then we'll talk about the single sign-on from Canvas to the super site, right? The student just clicks and boom, they're taken right into their course on the super site. And again, the LMS and the super site. And then if we have some time and you're interested in it, I wanted to show you a little personalization of the super site, some ways to get your voice into the super site. If you are interested in seeing that, I think for me, it's part of the course design, because a lot of people say, well, where am I in all of this, right? You start your course design and you see this sort of standard way of doing things, and then you think, where's my voice? Where do I lie? And that's where your voice lies, is within that content that can be just embedded right there. So that's our plan for the day. Any questions or anything that you're hoping for me to talk about that you don't see here? Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's up there, and I agree with the less tech, more bulleted. I mean, I've been teaching all online for 3 or 4 years now,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm in the process right now of transferring my one-on-one course to Canvas.
Right.
And so I'm looking at week 1, I'm like, gosh, this is so wordy. Like, why did I think I had to write all these paragraphs? But some students are going to be new to online learning. Some students are not.
Right.
Some students are brand new to learning a language. Some
Yep.
students are not.
Right.
So how do we get them to learn, I guess it's the study skills. You know, like, I can't just look at it on the super site and it's now in my brain forever. Like, they have to practice writing it out, typing it. Like, where do you incorporate that in your course somewhere? Like, how to study for a world language, or
Oh, yeah.
you just like free for all?
Oh, no. There's no free for all. Yeah, I'll show you that when we get into that deeper into each page of the site. But yes, absolutely. It's not like, here it is, go on the super site, have a good time, I'll see you in 16 weeks, I'm going to the Bahamas.
Right.
No,
It's like in the 200 level, then they email me, they've watched the tutorial, they've done some of the activities, and then they email me and they're like, I still don't get it. Can you send me another website? Can you explain this to me a little bit more?
Mm-hmm.
How do I conjugate nouns?
Conjugate nouns.
Conjugating nouns, but you know, like, I'm glad you're going to go over all of that.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, I'm struggling with how do I get it from this paragraph to the bullet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's dive in there a little bit, and I think as you see the way I have it set up, it may spark some. Oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do that.
Okay.
So the VCCS is 23 community colleges in Virginia, and we represent maybe 5 of them here, 4 or 5 of them. The one that Martha and I teach at, and you as well, right? We are literally bound by the instructional designers and the people that create the online courses, and they tell us don't touch anything. So we can, but then we have to face the consequences of deleting or changing or whatever. So what we need is to see a simple homepage like yours, where the student just clicks on week 1 or week 2 or whatever, instead of the nonsense that they've created for us.
The objectives. Next. Next.
There's about
1,000
20
clicks.
to get to week 1 instead of week 1. It's insane, and they give you an instructional designer that knows nothing about language acquisition. They're just a glorified, forgive me, and this is going to be recorded, but they're just a glorified IT help desk.
What I did is that I put the entry. I'm teaching with Canvas now. I moved all my 4 classes, 5 classes to Canvas. And what I did was to take away the start page that they gave me, and I put it to the modules. Right there, you see exactly week by week everything. You see the objectives, you see whatever I post there. And that has worked for me, because otherwise you go through 10,000 clicks to get to the first week or the
We're
second
not
week.
monitored in the same way
Yeah.
you are though.
Oh,
And, you know, and
we
we
are.
can do, they give us that, but they're fine with us deleting it or covering, you know, hide.
Yeah, they said not to change anything, or they give us a smaller memory, amount of memory for the course. And I have been posting a lot of videos on the super site instead of Canvas, so that I can manage to have more interaction with the students.
You can really put everything into the super site and use Canvas as your phone case. I like to give that analogy. The super site is your phone. It's got all the information in it. The Canvas is your phone case that protects it. So think of it in that way. Now, question on what you had said. Is there something called academic freedom in this state?
Sure, but,
Should it be?
yeah, I think that's more related to speech. They should be able
But
to
not
say-
design. So
Not
Yeah.
design.
that's the problem.
Speech.
It's your course, though.
I guess it's not considered our.
It's not considered our personal.
Personalizing the super site seems to be our workaround, maybe. Yeah. To get it in.
You can personalize your homepage, your biography, your picture,
Mm-hmm.
but they tell you do not touch anything else. And of course, I go, what? What's the saying? Act now, ask for forgiveness later, or whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever that saying is, and I play.
It's very problematic when that design is 15 clicks to get to the first page. Students drop courses that way,
Yeah.
and we can't
We can't
afford to
that.
lose our students.
The most you need to, the students need to do is click 3 times. After the third click,
They're done.
you lose. Yeah.
Mhm.
They, and imagine them doing it on their phone.
Oh, no.
You lose them.
So, perhaps a way to get around that is hiding some of their pages. Can you hide?
I think we can. I mean, we can. We can delete. We can hide. We can edit. But then there are people in our courses constantly at the end of the semester you're evaluated.
Mm.
What we can do also is to say, well, the languages have these needs, and if 2 or 3 community colleges do the same, then probably we can establish like we can push to.
But I also think Martha and I are working together on this, that the move to Canvas is actually going to help us, because now we can say this is the perfect time to make some changes, and this is what works according to pedagogy and methodology and theory. Listen to us, because we know what we're doing with language learning, and thank you so much for the design, but now leave us alone.
We're going to try it this way. I mean, a wonderful way to get around that is, this good old, we're going to pilot this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you take it back to the committee, and we're piloting this design, and we're going to see how it works with our students. And how can they say, no, you can't pilot that? Right? So when somebody said the word modules, I just cringed. Because for a student to get onto that giant modules page and see hundreds of things listed there, what is the first thing? Drop the class. I'm not doing modules.
They're forcing us to do modules that Donna.
I'll show you a good way to do modules. Okay, so let's jump in. These are good things to talk about because it's strategies to think outside of the box, right? believe me, we have a lot of things that they're, making us do in California as well. And we just, okay, we can do that. And we're going to do it this way. And we're going to do it. You have to do discussion boards. Okay. We're going to link our discussion boards to the super site so we can do partner chats, right? So there's a lot of ways to work around that. I have a great module solution for you. They're modules. You'll see. Okay. All right, good. So here we are. We're in old school and we're moving to new school, right? And I would just ask, so it sounds like some of your colleges are already offering online classes? You're all doing it, okay. And are you finding the same thing, that online is exploding while face-to-face?
Oh,
Yeah, the classes fill up
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately, okay. And face-to-face
But
being canceled?
completion is another story.
Right.
And that
Signing up and success and completing the course.
Yeah.
the retention isn't in online yet. And you know what? That was about 5 years ago in California, and now retention rates are right up there with face-to-face. So it really has to do with tightening up your design and making it simple for those students to get through. Of course, you're always going to have a handful that drop out. That's the same in face-to-face classes as well, right? So I think you'll see a big change here, and especially the move to Canvas too. And the fact that everybody in Virginia is going to be using Canvas, at least in the community colleges, right? So that is going to make it very uniform and easy for the students as well. Okay, so I don't need to convince you much of this. You guys are on board. You should see some of the stuff I've seen out there. Okay, so we can move on from this. All right, so let's take a look at a simple interactive homepage. Essentially, this is everything they need for the entire semester. They don't need to click around, find, where did she put this? Where's that? Everything that is needed goes from here. So they've got their weekly overviews, communication, resources. That's it. They don't need anything else. If you sit down and you think about your class, okay, what do the students need to know? How to find things, how to talk to people, and what they need to do for the week. Anything else?
What week they're on. I remember from the webinar, the red check.
My check marks.
Yeah.
I'll show you my live course as well. So, okay.
Did you modify this to not have a calendar showing?
It's there. It's just off to the right.
Okay.
When I show you my actual course,
Okay.
right? It's there. That that Canvas calendar that
Yeah.
runs down the side, and it comes up with their next thing to do, next thing to do, next thing to do. Right?
And
So
that's permanent, right? You don't want to get rid of that.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I think students really appreciate that. They can also connect it up to their phones, so they can download a feed, and it'll just sync with their calendar in their phone. So they really appreciate that.
Is that something that you as an instructor can see also? Because I had heard about this, and I put the calendar. I set up my calendar in Blackboard, and whenever I go click on the to-do thing, it shows I have nothing to do, and I've been told, because I'm not a student in the class.
In Canvas?
In Blackboard. That's why I'm wondering in Canvas whether I can see.
Oh yeah,
the
you can
to-do
see it
stuff.
for sure. Let me just, because everybody's wants to see the course. Charlotte, do you remember me telling you this?
Yes.
Everyone just wants to see the course. We love your screenshots, but everyone just let us see the course.
Maybe send us the PowerPoint.
Yes, I can. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me get into, we'll pull up this course because this is the actual course we're looking at. Here we go. Okay, so here it is live. It's going on right now. So here's our calendar, right? This tells them the upcoming due dates. And then this is what Martha asked about the check marks. When they come in, right, that's, their eye doesn't have to, what's today's date? Right? As the weeks go by, I just check them off. And then they come right in, oh, it's week 10, okay. I'm working on this now, right?
So is this, these dates, is this a substitute for instance, in Blackboard, you have your menu on the left-hand side, instead the menu's right in the center?
That's right, exactly. In Blackboard, it would be a big, long list of week. And oh yeah, you can hide those as the weeks go by.
You can decide what you want to put there.
You can decide what you want to put there. Yep. So if we're looking at this as a student, then let's just look at the difference between our view and the student view. So look at their list. They've got all these things coming up for them. And then they can view the calendar, of course. That menu bar over there is minimal, right? Can I show you what modules looks like? I'd use modules. You must use modules. Okay. Here are my modules. Week 1 and my weekly overviews. That's it. Right? So my weekly overviews are right there. That's it. My week 1 is, I call it the success week. Set yourself up for success. And this is where your paragraphs, right? Here's all of their, they get to meet me. I have a little introduction to using Canvas, which you're saying students are new to that. There's just a little video there of a Canvas overview, right?
Did you create that, or is that a Canvas?
It's a Canvas tutorial video series. I give them a few links. How do I use the dashboard? How do I use global navigation menu? Getting started with Canvas as a student. Now, in the beginning, everybody viewed this. But now that California's been using Canvas, they're all, yeah. I'm considering taking this page out, but then I figure, well, there's probably going to be someone here and there, right, that doesn't know it.
Where do you find these tutorials?
I think they're right in the help when you go to your Canvas instructor guides, which everyone will have. And then, let's see, home guides. I know, here it is, videos. Yep, and then they have all the, look at all those videos for everybody. Students, you can,
Just copy the URL.
Yep, and embed it right in your course. Use the embed code. Or you can link it.
Canvas student app, Canvas overview. Which one did you decide to?
I use the Canvas overview for students, but I probably should put that app in there too, because most students are looking at the app probably and not.
I don't know.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that to my attention, because there's my me being born in 1970 mentality, right? It is, yeah, they're probably all looking at it on their apps, right?
Click around and see which ones.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for us teachers, there are 2 apps. One is student app and the other one is teacher app. And you don't have the same rights. For the Canvas sites promoted by your ITs and instructional designers, you have to use the student. And for the ones that you create, then you can use the teacher. You have to have both apps just to see how they work.
Okay, so so this is kind of what's in that first week of class module. They don't have anything else to do that first week of class. They just have to worry about getting themselves set up, personalizing their Canvas and their super site, meaning put their face there. I make every student put their face in Canvas and on the super site. And the reason being, it's a language course and we need to know with whom we're communicating. That is, and I give them an F if that's it. Nobody has said to me, I'm not putting my face in there. Okay. I mean, then I just say you get a 0 on everything until your face is there. And okay, so that's basically, all they do for that first week. They purchase their materials. We do have an introduction, introduce yourself by video discussion board that first week. And I know I'm getting off topic here by showing this to you all, but I think this is what you want to see, right? So here is a discussion board. They have to meet and greet, right? This is very specifically what they need to include in their video. I show them how to upload their video. There's a grading rubric, and then boom, all of their I'm as a student. That's why I'm saying, where'd all those videos go? And then the students upload their videos and speak to here we are. Right? And then they talk to each other through video. So I like to do a video discussion board in the beginning. It sets the stage for this is what's to come in this class. It's a language class. I'm sure they're not doing videos in their math and science classes, right? So I like them to get it from the beginning. We're going to be on video. We're going to be videoing. We're going to be meeting with each other face-to-face, live, face-to-face, virtually. We're going to be submitting our pictures. You can't hide in this class. So, and yes, I do have students that drop that first week and say, I don't want to be on video. Okay. Right? I mean, how about the students that come to our classes that say, I don't want to do an oral presentation?
It's a language.
Yeah.
They make sure they're absent that day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's the same idea. Yeah. Are we going to lose them? Yeah. Would we lose them in a face-to-face?
Yeah.
It is, right? But I like this. It's a little bit more work for us to have to grade the videos. Yes, I understand that, but it really sets the stage for the beginning of the language class. So I think it's important. I did use video discussion board in Blackboard too. They had that in Blackboard as well. It worked. Okay, and then, of course, their first week of class quiz, which I don't know. Do your colleges make you do that? The first week of class quiz? That's part of the...
We have like a syllabus quiz.
Or a syllabus quiz, right. Some sort of a...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in California for something that like signing a contract and all of this stuff. So that's really my only module. And then from there on out, like I said, it's the weekly overviews, right? Like that. Okay, so let's take a jump and look at some of these things that I was going to show you before we got distracted, which always happens. Okay, so that's the interactive homepage, right? Now let's take a look at what's happening here. Okay, let's take a look at, where's my mouse? Oh, there it is. Okay. Communication and resources is on every page of the course. So that's that little sidebar, right? This is not only on the home page, but it's on every single page of the course. Think of yourself as a student. You're on your weekly overview, and it says you have to do a virtual chat this week. What the heck's a virtual chat? I'm going to email the teacher and ask what's a virtual chat, right? And then, oh God, another email to answer. But if they've got everything front and center, oh, okay, oh yeah, let me go to those how-to videos again, right? Let me go to whatever, the resources. These all go to the same page. I'll show you that, right? I just put possible things that the student would think, right? How-to videos, course documents, instructional documents, like all the things that they would think in their mind. Oh, I need to know how to do the virtual chat. I wonder where that is, right?
Did you create that, Donna? Communication and resources? You had to design that.
Yeah, and I'll show you the back end of what that looks like. It's very simple. The thing is once you do your template, copy, 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 copy. All you do is change out your content. You create the master template, and then it's just, I don't think it's called, I think they call it duplicate, right? Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. So everybody looks at this and goes, oh my God, this is so much work. No, it's just you get your template perfect, and then you duplicate. And that helps with the consistency of the colors, the fonts, the image sizes, right? Once you have it set. Okay, so let's take a look. If I could move myself here, I would move myself. Here we go. Okay, so in communication, the Ask a Question links to an open discussion forum. So this is the ask any question that anybody can, learn from type of thing. Please use this forum to ask any questions. So this is just a running discussion forum. You'll see that I have there's very little back and forth in here, because usually they put things about what they can't find. Does anyone know where to find the da-da-da-da-da? Right? But that has been it's like null and void now, because they know where to find everything, right? You should see this discussion forum from when I first started teaching online to now. It's like there were 50,000 in the beginning, because I had to, learn a base de palos. How do you say that in English? The hard way. Learn by getting beat over the head, right? A base de palos. This is a good thing too here, to make sure that you're always linking out to their notification. Like, hey, if you're not subscribed to this, you're never going to know that anything's happening here, right? Okay. To join the office hours, this links to Zoom. So what I have is a live, basically an open link, my personal link to Zoom, that I'm there every Thursday night from 6 to 7. It's on my phone. Of course, we know that we barely ever get students in office
I was
hours.
just going to
Right?
ask you that.
Yeah.
With Zoom, the same way.
Yeah, they don't really come.
Because I had I opened up, like a weekly office hour like that, and I was actually Google Hangout, and I had a couple students who would just log on for an hour and just kind of chat with me. It was kind of awesome.
Really?
I haven't done it again. I love the idea, but
And odd
yeah.
hours, like 10.
No, it was just 1 hour, but it's always the same. And they're kind of like, I felt like they're kind of kissing up to me, just And I thought I have
But
other
it's
things
working.
to do,
It's working.
But did they ask you Spanish questions, or they just wanted to chit chat?
Psychology.
Yeah, well, if I would just,
It's something like
Yeah.
hey, if you don't have any Spanish questions,
Yeah.
I'll see you next week.
No comprendo.
Right.
I tell them that if they have any questions, I will send them the link directly, and I just change the number, because when you have your own account in Zoom, you can make up your own link.
Yes.
So
Yes. You can do that as well. But whoops.
So Zoom is a different software.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different video conferencing. Now, usually, your college will give you an
So
account.
I'm addressing that in my presentation. With Blackboard, there is Collaborate.
Collaborate.
But we all know
Yeah.
there's no collaboration. So I have been asking for the last 3 weeks, I send an email every other day. Have you decided what we're using yet? Have you chosen a platform yet? And for Nova, they haven't chosen anything yet. And I keep saying, Zoom is great, Zoom is great, Zoom is great. So our head of IT says he'll let us know by the end 2 weeks from now. So we don't have anything.
Yet.
Tidewater has Zoom. A couple of schools in the VCCS have purchased Zoom. But this is where the VCCS isn't consistent. So some of us have it, some of us don't, some of us have nothing. It's nuts.
It's nuts. Yeah.
For some reason, Google Hangout doesn't work that well. When we want to use it, I connect my students with students from Mexico and other countries. And when we try to use Skype, there are a lot of restrictions. I cannot make up new addresses and nothing. In the Skype version we have here is only for faculty. And Google Hangout doesn't allow you to do anything. It stops everything.
It's free.
Zoom is the only one that we can use. And once you have one account, it's easy to have several. Or to create several. And then
The great thing about Zoom is there's no downloads. They're just student connects, and that's it. They're all in there. And then I have a waiting room, so I just admit them when I want them in.
You may put them in rooms. You can put students in rooms, different rooms, and they can talk. And
Private
you can monitor.
rooms.
And it records. It records. Yes.
Wow.
I know. It's beautiful.
It's basically a very language friendly.
Very.
Oh yeah.
And it integrates right into Canvas as well. It's an app.
I use WhatsApp with my students for the oral interview, but I think that hopefully
The problem with WhatsApp is that they have to provide their phone number or some other information.
What I do is I say to my students, I use this phone for this semester,
Okay.
so they believe that.
Like we're
I-
criminals that have to switch out our phones every semester.
Well, I have had students find me my personal cell phone,
Yeah, oh yeah.
right? And they send me texts and call, and I said, please do not. I block.
Yeah.
I said, please do not contact me this way. Use
I
my
don't answer.
college.
It's a private,
Yeah.
I have a private question.
Yeah.
I didn't answer. So.
I mean,
Yeah.
imagine you give the student an F, they show up at your house.
Yeah.
Ooh, scary.
Ay, ay, ay.
Hey, Donna.
You've had what?
With the iPad and students on Sunday.
Oh, jeez.
What about using ARC?
Now, ARC is just coming out. Our college is piloting it this semester, and I don't know anything about it yet.
No way.
I-
It's
It's just like Zoom.
it's video.
Mark
It's video.
says
It's
no
not ready
videos
for.
yet, so I don't think they know either.
Yeah, we can only create some video. We cannot even create audio
On ARC?
Just audio on ARC. I had to go around a lot for my exams for the listening section. You cannot create it on using ARC because you create a video, and I don't want my students to see my ugly face all the time. So I had everything that I had in audio. I just decided, well, I'm gonna add it to the super site. So why should I put it on them on Canvas? So and here we have only 500 megabytes of memory. So careful how many videos you make.
That's why you can do anything you want on the super site, right? You
Yeah.
just keep putting it up to
So
the
Mike,
super
the
site.
question that is bothering me, this super size that you're talking, I never heard. It's the first time that I hear today. It's like the cloud.
It's with do you use Vista, a textbook from Vista?
No.
That's why. It's the online
So
platform
that is super size
for the
them.
Vista. The Vista higher learning textbooks. Okay. So then there is the Connect with a Partner discussion forum. So this is what we're using. I do a lot of partner chats in my class, which is, again, a Vista Higher Learning tool, right? And so the students have to connect up with a partner here. So this is where they provide, their availability, essentially, to get together with a partner. And this is an open discussion forum. You'll see, up here you can see, whoops, I don't want to go that way. This kind of tells you they communicate back and forth with each other a lot as far as, I'm available this time, I'm available that time, etc. Okay. And then this last one is tutoring. That is going to be, I'm hoping that your colleges are going to provide you with online tutoring.
What's it called? Smart thinking? What's it called?
Smart thinking.
Yeah.
Smart thinking.
Okay,
Yes.
good. We have Net Tutor. It's not to say that students use it, right? But it's available to them. And I think they're getting more and more comfortable with the idea. 10 years ago, nobody was talking to a Net Tutor, right? But now students, it's becoming much more commonplace. Okay. So that's the communication bar, okay? The resources. First of all, tech support, okay? That was everybody's biggest complaint. I don't want to be tech support. I am not tech support. I'm a subject matter expert in my language. I don't know anything about computers, right? And we are not tech support. So what we need to do is provide students with the tools to get to tech support, get to the right person, and it's not going to be you, right? I mean, I say this over and over again to my students. I am not tech support. All I'm going to tell you is to clear your cache and change your browser.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know anything else. So I've thought about all the different kinds of help that students would need. And I divide it out for them. If you just say, oh, call the help desk. Well, which help desk? Right? So there's Canvas help that they could possibly need. There's computer help with their computers. That's the student help desk at the college, right? And then the textbook support that they need. Any other help? See your therapist.
Or connect with Martha.
Yeah.
Or connect with Martha on Zoom.
She has an office
It
hour.
felt like that. It felt like that.
Okay, so that's one page, right, of help that they need. This appears, it's on my sidebar, and then it's in that first week of class, that success week. I flash this to them. Hopefully they'll remember, right? Now, I'm not going to say that I never get any help, tech help emails. I'm not going to make that up, right? But it's a lot less than it used to be. I mean, before it was every day, 5 emails. It's like, oh my God, I quit, right? Now, maybe 10 the whole semester, maybe, and that's a lot. And I just have my copy and paste response. Have you cleared your cache and changed your browser? You can try a hard refresh too. Okay, now here, other announcements. So where else do I give them tech tips, right? So every week I send out an announcement. And notice that my tech tip is always clear your cache and switch your browsers. These are the first steps to solving tech problems. And you know what? That usually helps on like 90% of the things, right? Okay. So every week, it's in their face, the tech tips. We think if we give it to them once, it's fine. No. Week after week, right? And then you see at the end, I give them the phone numbers. Here's VHL tech support. Here's the student help desk. Week after week, it's in the announcements. It's also in my email signature, right? Every time I email them, it's right there. And a lot of people are thinking, oh, Donna, that's crazy. You know, we're teachers. But our role as the teacher is changing, right?
Oh.
It's 2019. I mean, I remember back in, the 90s, it was like, oh, what? They expect us to be counselors now? And, and we're always complaining that they want us to do more and more and more. Well, this is just one other thing that we're doing now. We are, our role is changing. And if we don't want to be tech support, we need to tell people where to find the information. It's not me, right? Okay. So I say empower your students to find the help they need, provide them with the tools to be successful. All right. Now let's talk about the rest of the resources. So that's one under the resources. There's one that says tech support, I think, or technical support. All the others go to this one page here. The how-to videos, the instructional documents, and the course documents, they all go to the same page. One giant page that looks like this. Every resource that they could possibly need, right? So the syllabus, the calendar, the materials, okay, they probably need that in the first week or second week, whatever. That's also in that first week of success module. But then I've thought about everything else that they could possibly need throughout the semester, right? There's tech support stuff, virtual chat instructions, grading rubrics, partner chat instructions, composition rubrics, right? I mean, everything that you can think that the student would need. All my review documents, great place to find them, right? Present tense, preterite tense, any of those fun PowerPoints that you made for your face-to-face class that you love, that you put them on your resources. All of these how-to videos, these are actual videos that I created that are screencasts that show them how to do these things. I sent them once before, but I can send a follow-up email to everyone here with, Charlotte, you have everybody's email that's here today, right? Yep. Okay. So I can send you all of these links that you're welcome to use. Some of them, like this one, the set up your VHL account, enroll in my course, specifically speaks, about my course, so you might not want to use that. But all of these other are very general, and they're just instructions and shows the student how to do these things.
One question, because I don't know if it's me or my students. I send that link to different link to any of my for classes. Is it happening to you that in 101 confused with 102 and 201 goes to 101?
Sometimes, not a lot. One or two students.
102 students. Okay,
That's it.
I feel that.
Yeah.
They just see your name and click on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. They see your
Or you mean
name
when you
and they
enroll.
don't. Right. It's so easy to.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Flop them.
I fixed it.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
Yeah. I'll find you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even
Yeah.
tell them, try to change yourself.
It's easy to
No.
confuse.
Yeah. It's easier.
I just move them.
When you get to fix it, then you tell them to fix
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So if you think about your resource page and you think about, now people that have already been teaching online probably have an idea in their head. Oh yeah, what do I get asked about, right? And that's what you put on your resource page. This is a product of, many semesters teaching and, oh, I didn't put that there, dang it, oh this. So what I suggest in the beginning when you're first starting out with online and I mean, anything really, it doesn't even have to be that, just your Canvas course in general, is just kind of keep a running list by your desk of everything that you get asked for. And then if you see a trend, add it to your resource page. Yeah. Any questions about this?
Can we see the, your grading rubrics also for partner chat and that kind of thing?
Oh, yeah.
Will you send those?
I'll give it, yep, I'll send a big list of links and I'll have all of that stuff on there that you're welcome to have. Okay. So in that case, any other questions before we move on? Let me just show you real quick. We'll go behind the scenes and we'll take a look at how that looks in Canvas.
While you're loading that, Donna, can I ask, how do you create your, I don't want to call it homepage, but when you enter your class, is that considered, when you set it up for entry, what is that called?
Front page.
It's a front page.
Yep, it's right here. So if you go to pages, view all pages, see right here, front page? Is that too small? Should I make it bigger? So I call it home page. And then basically these three dots over here, you can make any page your front page. See, you click the three dots and right now it'll say remove as front page. I don't want to remove it, but if I came to a different page, see it says use as front page. So any page in your course, you can make your front page.
But I mean, on the left side it says courses. On the top side it says Spring 19, Spanish 201. So do you have like a Spanish 19, Spanish 101, Spanish 202?
In my courses?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have different levels that I teach. Yes. We just happen to be in
This
one.
is only one for
This
one.
is 201. But you know what? They all look the same.
Right. I mean,
I just change out my.
Change to 101 to 201. I change the subject.
Yep, that's right.
Maybe you're going to get to this and I'm jumping ahead.
It's okay.
But on your home/front page where you have each week set up, are you releasing everything to them at the beginning of the semester, or are you setting it like you must complete week 1 before you can get to week 2? Because I'm maybe Susan can tell me differently. I remember being told here at one point, don't open up the whole semester because it's not fair to all the students, because not everybody can work ahead. But then when I was a student, I became very frustrated, like, because I work a full-time job, I work a part-time job here, I'm taking a class. Like, if I'm ready to do the work, let me do the work. So I'm starting to think, like, I'm just gonna, like, boom, here's the semester. If you're ready to move on, we're still in week 1, but you're ready to move on to week 3 and you've done 2, like, go ahead. Like, there's nothing, why do I have to hold them back?
I open the whole semester. I do limit the tests to the
Right.
week.
But, like, I'm just saying, like, on the super site, why can't I just assign everything?
You can?
I mean, I have done it in the past, and then I was told, no, that's not fair.
Yeah.
I think that the argument they are using is that you cannot open absolutely everything the whole semester because then it becomes a correspondence course. And the students who are using financial aid cannot use financial aid for correspondence coursework. So it's, I think that's the reason why. But you can actually open everything that limit exempt.
Right.
And maybe just ease them into it until, the only thing when I always open up the next week, everything's open for the rest of the semester. But some are gonna get confused, what, it shouldn't be, but maybe like the first week, it's like, okay, like.
It's overwhelming
just
also,
one
you open
thing.
everything.
Right. And then once they get used to the vistas and everything, then you can put.
Right, I mean, not, my due dates in the super site are not all the end of the semester, they're, each
Week by week.
Right.
Right.
So, and of course, I wouldn't open the tests up until the week of the test.
Right.
So,
That's exactly what I do. But everything else is available.
okay.
And I haven't found, I mean, like you said, right? We're all in community colleges. Our students are full-time workers, full-time parents, full-time students, full-time everything, right? In this country, you're full-time everything. I mean, so why not? Right?
What I do, maybe it's answer too much. What I open up for the whole semester. However, I do not take 2 days late homework.
No, I don't take any late.
So you can work ahead. You can work ahead.
Yeah,
but
you
don't
can
work
work
back.
ahead.
You can't work backwards. That's right.
And one more question.
Sure.
Can you share with us later your presentation?
The PowerPoint? Oh yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send you everything you're seeing today. I'll send you links, documents, etc. Okay, so here we are on the back end. This is the home page, and you see what it is? Charts. Charts within charts within charts. That's all it is. So when I need to make my semester an 8-week semester, I just delete out part of these. I keep coming over this way.
So it's basically tables.
Tables.
Yeah.
Tables within tables. Right? And that's how I keep my spacing nice. And like I said, people say, oh, can I build it in Word? And don't build anything in Word and try to get it into Canvas. You'll want to commit Harry Carey, right? Just use right here, these tables.
A lot of the attributes do not transfer to Canvas, from Word to Canvas. For example, when you highlight something on Word, you don't bring it over to Canvas. Canvas destroys a lot of the stuff that you did on Word, and thanks God, because Word adds a lot of stuff that it shouldn't. And
Too much code in there that changes things out.
So I have a question then. If I have everything on my course saved in Word documents, can I just put the copy and paste like document for the students to open in their computer?
You can link the documents as files, yes, if you want it to link out to a Word document file. I would suggest, though, that rather than Word, you change them to PDFs. Because some students don't have Word, right? But a PDF is a general
my course
universal
is providing
file.
free Word for everybody. We all faculty and students have free
yeah,
Word.
but it is easier for the student to see something that is on PDF, and they are not going to. They can change it actually, but they will not take the
Alter it.
So
Yeah, they
save it
have-
as PDF instead of Word, and then send them the link to the PDF to everybody. Okay.
Well, you can, so you'll see here, like, for example, noticing, let's get back to that resource page. You see these little icons?
Yes.
That actually lets you know it's a file. So they can view it here, right? They can do a preview of the file. This is going to look funny because it's in a chart. But so anytime you see all of these little files.
So your syllabus, for example, is on PDF, it's not Word, right?
It's all PDF.
That's PDF. When you originally developed that, you developed it in PDF also?
No,
You developed it,
Word.
of course.
You
And
do
then when
Word
you
and then you save it.
Saved it as PDF.
Also.
You just click print and then save it as PDF.
So then when you find mistakes, then I say, oh, okay.
Do it
Put it in
again.
Word and then save it again. Replace old file.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yep.
Donna, back to your pages, your entry. What's the right terminology here? Your
Front page.
front page. Okay. So did you disable announcements in your settings so that they don't show up on that front page when the student enters?
So what I actually did was I allow them to see one announcement. See this announcement at the top?
And
One.
again, is that for, let's not overwhelm them with 20 announcements.
I've
Just one.
seen courses that have
Yeah.
5, 10
Yeah.
announcements
And
at
then
the
they
top.
have to,
Yeah.
okay.
I just let them see that one announcement of the week.
How do you control the announcements?
That goes in, that's under settings. When you get to your course right here, under more options, right there, it shows you have the option to, if you don't want any announcement, you just unclick show recent announcements on course homepage. If you don't want any announcements there, just uncheck it. Otherwise, you get to control how many announcements are shown at that top. No, you can't, with announcements in Blackboard, they just get emailed out to the student, but then they're nowhere to be found unless you created a menu item, I think, for them, right? They don't show up.
Announcements is usually the homepage.
Is it the homepage?
Yeah,
You
they're
can
all
set-
on there.
You
Yeah,
can
they're all
set
on
your
there.
entry point to the course.
To the announcements.
But you can't control the number of announcements.
Ah.
What you can do is make them unavailable
Right.
after,
You
whenever
delete
you
them.
want to, or delete them.
Can they still
You
see
don't
the
put it
previous
today.
announcements if they click on announcements?
Yep, so here, you'll see announcements. I do have that enabled, right? And then here's all the announcements for the whole semester.
And you can also put it as a front page, like on the blog, Blackboard if you want to.
If you wanted to, yeah, if you wanted your
Yeah,
front
but-
page to be the announcements.
But the students will not be able to find all this stuff there.
That's right, this is, I mean, imagine coming into this. It's like, right? Too much to read and, yeah. This, when you're dropped into something simple on the eye and easy to follow, boy, is that, I mean, look at that on your eye.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're 100%
Less
right.
is more. Less
Yeah.
is absolutely.
Less is more.
That sparks joy.
Yes.
So we're not gonna throw your laptop out.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
know,
spark
I'll
joy.
keep my laptop.
Right?
Have you ever used anything besides the red check mark? Because we have a thing for students with disabilities. I was told
That's
not
right.
to use red
Oh,
on our online courses because when you put it through some kind of
Well,
machine
any kind of
that
check.
reads it.
You
So
can
is
go-
there another color that works for you? That
I've
besides
always
red?
used red. I'm probably gonna get dinged when I get evaluated.
You should use red. Does orange do the same thing as red? I was told not to
Any
use
check mark, even if it's
even if it's a black check mark.
as long as they can see it.
Well, because those students that you mentioned, blue is also damaging their eyesight, blue, green. So you can put everything in black, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
That's
put
it.
it black too.
you can put it in black, sure.
And
I
like I
just
said before,
wanted
they don't
something
care.
that grabbed their eye.
Yeah.
Like they just went right to, okay, there we are.
Okay.
But I didn't know red was one of the no-no colors.
Yes, red is very
Oh, red's a no-no
Red's
color.
disability.
And
All
also
right.
It's better to use Verdana. You can use Verdana or Helvetica for the font because the readers pick it up.
This is just the typical Canvas. This is the universal Canvas font. I didn't change anything.
Now, the
Here.
universal canvas font that they're using right now is probably Arial or Verdana.
I don't know.
Using
I-
that.
In the old days was Times New
It's kind of
Roman.
like Helvetica or Verdana. Let's see.
So Verdana is the one that is better for people.
Well, that's impressive, Donna, if you can
And
read
size
that
twelve?
code. I'm impressed.
But then it is-
Right?
Yeah, it is.
Um,
The font size style.
see, it's just,
I don't find it.
it's Canvas. They don't give you a, a,
I think it's an Arial or.
Usually it's
Helvetica.
Arial. Yes, usually it's Arial.
I was told you can't change the font and you can change the size.
you can, if you know how to do the code, you
Yeah.
can.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I put also some lines on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
side on the pages.
Lulu is saying, yeah, so she's gonna help us.
Yeah, you can,
That's easy HTML, basic HTML, don't worry.
okay.
You go-
People, you're scaring people right now. You understand that? With using that word HTML, you're scaring everybody. I never use those 4 letters. People are like, I'm out. No. HTML.
For Donna.
Okay, so I have no idea. How am I doing on time? Am I doing terrible? Am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to be done in 5 minutes? Okay, all right. So let's look at a typical week then, right? So we see our typical homepage, and now we look at a typical week. So what do we notice about this page? Consistent headers, consistent fonts. I use the typical font in Canvas. Communication and resources on every page. Right? It'd be nice if this would work. Here we go. Okay, minimal colors. Whoops. Bulleted task list. Tech tips. Simple and consistent. Students aren't wondering where to find things. Right? And this is what, and I say, choose your template and stick with it on every page in your course. So if we go back.
I have a question.
Sure.
Sometimes we get blind and we get deaf if their things are repeating and repeating and repeating. Do you notice that communicating all that every week in any page, do the students get blind with that information?
Essentially, they're just getting their task list.
Right. So
Right.
we focus on that area, but in case that the one is on the right side.
That's it.
I was thinking much more putting that just in the beginning of
This?
Yeah.
I've done that before. No. I mean, try it. Try it. I hear what you're saying, but I feel like, okay, so let's make an analogy. For example, you're on your credit card page or your bank page, right? And you're looking at your statements every month. But it's always consistent with, right, like contact us, all of the things that you need to do with your banking. And that's on every page.
I don't look specific.
Right?
It's on the corner on the top, yes.
You know exactly where it is. Your students, I need to talk to my teacher. Boom. Oh, where's the, right?
And also when you use a mobile device, if you have all that in one page, it is much easier than going, scrolling or going back to the
forward.
left to the right. And then it is much easier.
They can't, and I mean, it'd be nice if they could scroll like that. I don't think you can in the Canvas app. I think you have to click next. Yeah. So, essentially, if we go into the back page or the back end of Canvas, we're going to see, whoops, what happened here? There we go. Okay, so we come into, let's just go into week 2, for example. Okay, so here's our, this one, sometimes, okay, so I do my course, let me make this a little bit bigger. I have every week, in addition to their super site activities or their exercises that they're doing, they have one sort of big agenda item, whether it be a virtual chat, a partner chat, a composition, or an exam. So every week they have something. So if it's something sometimes hard to find, like but it's not even that it's hard to find. I shouldn't say that. If it's called out as, oh, this week you have your virtual chat, students get, oh, where is that? Where is that? Right? So that's when I started putting in a screenshot. Hey, by the way, your virtual chat is along with all of your other activities on the super site. That's why I've called that out specifically. But what I wanted to show you here was the back end of this. So if you recall what the back end of the home page looked like, let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see. Okay, so you see it's just the tables again. So I just changed it up a little bit. Up here is, their weekly overview, the due date, etc. I've got, this is my same image that's on every page. People say to me, Donna, I want to put in pictures of Spain and Argentina and Mexico. Go for it. Put one in there every time. Just make it the same size, right? Don't have a big one and then a little one, right? Just make it the same size every time, and change up your image every week if you want. I think that'd be cute, if, okay, we're studying Cuba this week. There's pictures of Cuba, right? Or Francia or whatever. Question?
How do you manage the size? For example, weekly is the bigger font, and the contents is a smaller font. And then you say your pictures, of course.
Yep. This is all in the headers. See? So when I click on this, you see right here, it changes to header.
Oh, the header automatically changes for you.
Yep, the header changes it for you. And then like down here, this is paragraph. See?
And it's automatically this.
It changes it.
And if you click on the next tab, next paragraph,
the font
now
size.
It's going to tell us
Oh, there's
the
the
size.
font size. That's what I wanted to know. Okay.
Yep.
and the little man at the little circle with the man at the end, that one tells you if it is accessible for people with disabilities.
That's great.
The ladies.
Yes.
There
Correct.
you go. And the images that you say the same size, it doesn't matter which size you put your picture, the computer is going to let it.
Well, you have to tell it. So, for example, here's the embed image, right?
Yes.
So you have to pick your image size.
Oh, right.
So down here it'll have the dimensions. Now, people get frustrated because sometimes you've uploaded an image that won't fit nicely in these dimensions. So, más o menos, right? Okay, if it's a few off, then it's fine. But you just don't want really big and really small and long and tall and diagonal and all of these different shapes. Okay? So you can see here that this is basically the same setup, right, as my homepage. Communication and resources is there. Now, instead of important dates, then they get important reminders every week. And you can always tell that, I usually put here, I was going to say, if you were not able to see an activity or your photo on VHL, switch browsers. I know it's another troubleshooting tip is to clear your cache, right? So I just constantly remind them over and over and over again. And again, once you've created your template and you're just copying, it's not a problem, right? It's not a lot of work. You're just essentially, all I'm doing is changing out this middle part and the dates, right? And then, of course, if you wanted to change your picture to match what country you're studying that week, that'd be fine too. Okay. Let's see where we're at on. Okay, so at this point, we've kind of really spoken about all of the general course design.
I'm sorry, I must have missed something, but where do we find the template that we choose? Or
We prepare it ourselves.
we prepare it ourselves?
Is there any sampler templates like in Word if you want to start designing, or you have to create from your own imagination?
Well, the IT people think that everybody should be using modules. So I don't know that others have created things like this. I'm going to give you all access to my public course, so you can go in there and pull it if you want to use it, right? I don't know that Canvas has created anything like this that they that they give out to people. But the idea of Canvas really is the modules.
And the
Commons,
commons have
a lot of modules.
So they have-
Yep. So to go to Commons, I don't have my thing shared on Commons. I don't know that, I don't really 100% understand Commons. And I'm not sure who can see what, or see here. Commons is requesting access to your account. I don't want that.
And just cancel it. It's just a repository of stuff that people want to
To share.
It can be a course, a complete course, or just a
Videos.
sample
Videos, yeah.
or a week or something.
In the trainings that we've been doing, didn't they tell us that we had to make our courses public?
Yeah.
Is that true? Does that ring a
I
bell with
haven't heard that.
anybody?
I
You
think
don't
it's
remember,
public
no?
for the BCCS.
So that's
Just-
BCCS only, it's
Yeah.
not, so Donna couldn't find our courses.
most likely.
Only for people within your institution.
Yeah.
Institution, so
Yeah.
even BCCS, we might not be able to find,
Unless you
Each other.
share them with
Right.
Commons.
Right now,
Like in Blackboard.
actually, right now, everything is under BCCS. It's not under a particular college. So we may find each other's.
But when we open Canvas, we have to initialize like our colleges, so CBCC, and that's it. Nobody can see.
well, right now,
It's BCCS.
it's
BCCS?
BCCS,
Right.
It's not.
Ah.
right now.
It's not
Because we're
tied
not
to
live
your-
yet.
It's
Yeah,
not
but
tied
you
to
can
your
see my
college.
schedule.
All right.
Because you go to this other
Ah.
instruction.
Yes, I had to open the Blackboard account and put the link to Canvas, to the Canvas course.
For this semester.
Yeah, so my students go to my Tyler and then click on that link and they go to Canvas.
Oh, because it's not live yet.
Because it's not live for everyone.
I
Yeah.
see.
It's not on the menu.
piloting this for us.
Well, she's doing well, yeah.
Well, that's the best word.
See, when you pilot, yeah, then you're allowed to do anything, right?
Oh, I have made so many mistakes.
Of course. Well, that's how we learn.
Making the same mistake.
Mhm. A base de palos.
Actually, a lot of students take Canvas as as the excuse to finish something. All my other courses are on Blackboard, and this is the only one on Canvas. So I don't know how to find it. But of course, they can find everything, but much faster, much easier.
Yes.
But that's the.
It's going to be the learning curve for everyone. I would give it 2 semesters until people stop complaining.
Also,
So you've got a
You're an
year ahead of
optimist.
you. You've got a year ahead of you.
Also, the other stuff is that if you're using Vistas, use Vistas as a place for your test. Don't use Canvas because when there's a lockdown, responders a browser that the colleges use for the testing center and all that stuff when it is proctored. And you cannot, the students are going to forget how to add the accents. They cannot copy and paste the responders. No, with responders, and if you use Canvas, it is most likely that they will not be able to write the accents because they don't remember. And who's going to remember
All those
how to write
codes.
how to add an accent
We give our,
when they have to remember
But-
stuff about the
we give
text?
them a
I have the same
shortcut.
problem, but I mean, it's not their fault.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
No, let me finish. It's because some teachers, they already have the link in the Blackboard, and I don't.
No, what?
But it's going to be with Canvas the same. So the student, they get used to go to one class, history, biology, and the teacher.
No,
they put
I'm not
their
talking
link.
about that stuff. When you proctor an exam, usually you proctor it with responders Blackdown or what is it?
Lockdown.
Yeah, something. So responders was made originally for math and science, and it doesn't allow any non-English alphabet character. And what happens is that you cannot insert anything. And if you want to copy and paste. For example, I tend to give the students the list of characters with the accents already. If they want to copy and paste, if they need them, they can do that. With responders doesn't allow to do that. Doesn't allow the student to do that. So they have to type it directly onto the text box that they get. So just a heads up that maybe
Live and learn, we'll see.
it is better to use the supersite for the text.
So you meant for the midterm and final
Yes.
as well?
Yeah, any proctored exams, it's better to give them in the supersite than to give them on Blackboard, because some of the colleges use the Respondus browser.
But you haven't tried that with Canvas yet?
Well, what happens is that at least here we do not have a way to just click and insert a symbol on Canvas.
Right.
That's the problem. That's the only problem that Canvas has.
So
And Blackboard has it.
trying to understand you. So say on your exam, you have a composition. If you put all of those characters in the instructions, can they copy and paste it on
If they use
Canvas?
Respondus, if they use the Respondus browser, they can't.
Meaning
I'm
that's
talking about
something that the
testing
testing
center
center
here.
automates.
Yeah, they
They
can't.
can't do
No,
that
the
through
students
Canvas.
cannot copy and paste. Even if you provided that list, they cannot do it.
Because they can do it now through Blackboard. if they
No,
click the
but
copyright
on Blackboard
symbol.
you can insert the symbol. There's
The copyright symbol in the rich text editor is
Yeah.
how I tell them to do it.
yes, but on Canvas you don't
There's
have
no
that, and that's the only problem that I have with it.
I can show you some workarounds with that too.
Yeah,
I
that is,
wonder if we could give Canvas this feedback.
Oh, they've
about
gotten
accent
it.
marks.
They
Okay,
know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's certainly on their roadmap
Okay.
to add.
what we can do is to write the instruction on how to add the
Accented character.
accent
What
and all
to
that.
do.
So when we at Nova are not allowed to test our students on any textbook site. So the instructional designers created the exams in Blackboard. And then at the testing center, they give the students a sheet of paper that has the codes for the diacritical marks. But we are not allowed to give any quizzes or tests or exams outside of Blackboard.
And that will be the same for Canvas.
Because they
Strict
say
regime.
It is.
for integrity, for academic integrity, that if a student is at home taking the lesson 3 test, quiz, exam, whatever, they open up another browser, Google Translate, copy, paste, composition done. That's what they say. Now, with proctoring at other institutions within our VCCS, there is no proctoring going on at other
We
institutions.
can't have as many things, everything can't be proctored, we're only
Yeah.
allowed 3.
Three the most, minimum 2.
And see, these are things that when we have the peer group in 2 years, we all need to get together
Yeah.
and really make a strong statement to Richmond about this, because it's insane, Donna. It's insane.
Your institution that all of you were saying sound like it's Venezuela. Because
No, it's not that bad.
nothing happened in mine. We are free to do whatever we want to. There is no regulation for the instructional designers, etc. There is no issues with the accents.
Can you believe that?
And that's very sad. So we are together, the 23 of us, language instructors. Maybe we can skip that instructional mentality. It's very strong. I'm sorry. Wow.
And they know more than we do.
Wow.
It's
So what you're saying there is that should be a bumper, what's it
Who
called?
knows more than you?
The instructional designers and the people that sit in an office know more than those of us who do this every
that are
day.
in the trenches, yeah.
Are they maybe have to do with the change for computer coding versus languages? Maybe?
And that's just
Usually
going to
the
get
IT
worse.
people know only IT. So that's the
Yeah.
problem.
It's
Like,
Sounds like that to
going to
me.
get worse.
and
Yeah.
the issue that the state wants to allow the computer languages to be used as
Right, yeah, that's what he was saying, coding is it.
Yeah.
no as a foreign language. For
Yeah,
example,
that's what I mean,
instead of-
High school curriculum wants to allow 2 years of
Computer.
computer science
Java, for
to
example.
count as 2
Foreign
years
language.
of a world language.
It-
For a
Northern
degree.
California is
For its
ridiculous,
advanced diploma
but
or-
here they are doing.
Wow. And are the language instructors fighting it?
Well, of
Tooth and
course.
nail?
Everyone's fighting it, but we're losing.
Because we are not the ones who make the money. That's the problem.
Oh, gosh, what's happening to this country?
Well, the problem is that the students with 2 years of Java or any other computer program will not be able to do that much anyway.
Or forever, that's
Or
only
forever.
gonna be.
Because it's going to be good
Yeah.
for about 5 years at the most. And language, well, if it sticks in there, it's going to be good forever.
Yes. I mean, and what kind of message does that send, right? Oh, you don't need to know another language. You don't need to know another culture. I mean, it's just so wrong.
That's the Western game.
We're preaching to the choir here, right? Yeah. Okay, so shall we move on a little bit more?
Yes, please.
Chris, you are
I
going to
need
present
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
So I'm good.
Okay. All right. So we talked. Does everybody feel like they have a good grasp on what your template could look like for your course?
When you share it.
Yes. Yeah. No, I will share my course for sure. But just so you I mean, this is like instructional design 101 in 20 minutes kind of thing. But just so you kind of have that visual, right? The consistency, etc. Okay. So then what we're going to be talking about here now is we're keeping our course design very simple. It is the phone case of our course, whereas the publisher or the, you don't use Vista. Most of us in here use Vista, right? All of the content lives in the super site. So we're not reinventing the wheel and putting everything into the LMS. That's already been done for us, right? We're not the curriculum writers. We're the subject matter experts. So we take the curriculum, we teach it to our students, and we do it in our own personal way, right? So the question is then, let's talk about how we can get the students from the LMS to the super site. And basically what that is using the VHL app within the super site. So when your students click on the super site, they are automatically linked to their class, right? Let me show you what that looks like. The thing is big ojo here, right? You need to get the secret key and the code for your institution, okay? And so, sounds like you've done that already.
Well, they instruct me many times, but we are not using it.
You're not using it yet. Okay.
Familiar with it.
Wait, could you repeat what you just said?
Yep. Let me show you a visual of that, because if you're like me, you need to see it
I
written.
do.
Yep. It's like, huh? What? What was that? Okay. So essentially, what you do, let me close that out. Okay. So I'm in my course, right? And I'm going to go down to settings. And I'm going to go over to apps. So just think of this as you're adding an app to your phone, right? You're going to add the Vista Higher Learning app to your course. So you type in Vista, or maybe it's VHL. VHL, okay. I think.
It's probably not showing you already have it connected.
Let me do. There it is. Okay. So it's not going to show up on yours, your Canvas, if your institution hasn't set it up already.
It's not.
Okay. So does anybody, now for your schools, but does other schools do it within the district? You don't have your computers here? Okay. So
Yes.
Charlotte, that's going to be part of your job.
Provide the Canvas.
Homework. What's my homework?
Your homework is going to be to for all the colleges that are using the Vista Higher Learning programs,
Yes.
is to contact or talk with their instructional design team or whoever their Canvas administrator is to have this installed. I can give you the paperwork
Okay.
that needs to
Okay.
happen, right?
I assumed that they had already.
I don't,
Assumption is the
They're
mother
not
of
seeing.
confusion.
I'm looking for the email and they haven't done anything.
Can-
We did start the process at no cost.
okay, so maybe they just haven't done it yet.
14th of May is when they canceled Blackboard totally.
I just,
Oh.
okay, so, it's really soon. So,
We'll talk.
yeah, and if you know who the person is on your campus, you can send me their name and information, then I can get that organized.
So here's the thing. If from what I've understood, because I've worked with a lot of different people with the app, it's going to depend upon the way your ID team installs it. So if they install it the correct way, you won't have to do anything else other than add it to your menu bar, like I have it here on mine, VHL. If they don't install it the easy way, then when you click on Add App, you're going to, and it's really not a big deal, but this is the way I had to do it. You get a consumer key and a shared secret provided to you from Vista's tech support, or Charlotte will provide it for you. You enter it once. You click Show in Course Navigation. That allows you to put it on your menu, and boom, it's done. You never have to do it again. You do it once.
But when the students click on that, they still have to log into VHL, correct?
The first time. They have to link their accounts, and then after that, it's a single
Password is
sign-on.
recorded, embedded.
So let me show you what it looks like, right? So when you go into your Vista Higher Learning account, your SuperSite account, whoops, it's over here, sorry. Okay, you see right here? Can you see this? LMS partner links. If you will not have it yet if you don't have an LMS partner yet, right? Okay, so LMS partner links, look how it looks, see? So right there, I have things at various colleges, right? But right here it tells me, okay, you have linked, this is my Spanish 101 section. You have linked Online Spanish 101 to Canvas, and there it tells you my page, my Canvas course, right? So then students, the first time they come over, they link, they're done. They click, they link. Now, you can deep link or link to your dashboard. And we'll talk about those different possibilities of how you want to link out from your Canvas course. But the nice thing is that it's single sign-on. Okay, question?
In California, everybody's using Portales, or it's only your college?
The majority of us are using Portales. Some are still using Vistas.
Oh, okay.
In the community college?
Yes.
So you have also how many community colleges in your area?
In San Diego County?
Uh-huh.
Oh, gosh.
More than 23, obviously.
Yeah.
And they all are using this.
Portales.
They are strong, very strong.
Yes.
And what about in the
Um,
classroom?
some are still using Vistas in the classroom, but almost everybody has switched completely to Portales. Classroom and online. Mm-hmm.
We talked before when we were all in Blackboard about having a direct link to Vistas from Blackboard. And we decided not to do it because at the time Blackboard was down so often.
Mhm.
We were concerned that students would say, I couldn't do my homework because I couldn't get on Blackboard to get to the link. So we did not link them because we wanted them to remember how to get to Vistas separately. So is Canvas more reliable than Blackboard was in that area? Because we used to have trouble with Blackboard often.
Since I've been using it, I've never seen it go down, ever.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. I mean, that's a
Thank
great
you.
question, but in all the years, I haven't seen it go down.
Yeah.
Mention the browser. We're supposed to use Firefox, no Explorer. Maybe that has to do with it.
I use Chrome.
Chrome or Firefox, they
Chrome or
because
Firefox.
Explorer doesn't work with Canvas very well.
No, nor Safari.
So,
Yeah.
And Safari, you have your iPhones on that.
Right.
Opera also runs.
What's that? Sorry.
Opera.
Oh, Oprah. Yeah, I
Opera,
haven't used it.
Opera is the Nordic, Scandinavian web browser. Also works in
We can-
Okay, so we understand the single sign-on. Now, the single sign-on is only good for, bringing your students on over, right? It's not like you're not integrating your grade book and all of that business with it. Yeah, that's when you get into murky waters. Okay. So I say, do not reinvent the wheel by rewriting curriculum and putting it into your LMS. What I simply do is I link the students to the super site, right? So here is their weekly overview. They're told what they need to do, right? You're going to be completing everything this week in Portales or Vistas or whichever textbook you're using. Here's your task list. And now what happens? Prof, what do I do? Click start. Nothing, there's no rocket science here, right? I mean, this is what I do. So that's what I was saying, that you can just link them straight to your dashboard and then they begin. Or you can deep link. I have, in my opinion, crazy instructors in my institution that link them to every single assignment in the super site. And I say, why? Because I want them to do it in this order that I want them to do it in.
Mm-hmm.
And every semester they have to change the links. I mean, we're talking about thousands and thousands of links, right? I trust Vistas to present it in the order that they present it in, but I embed a lot of my own voice in here, right? So, 15 minutes, she said. Okay. So let me show you what I'm talking about, okay? So what about my voice? I have a plethora of instructor-created assignments. So, for example, the partner chats that they provide. I make my own partner chats, right? So I love the platform of the partner chat where the students have to communicate with each other. Do you know what I'm talking about? I hate to talk about this. I thought.
She had a whole program designed.
Yeah, but mine is not among the students in the course.
It's
I
outside.
connect the students to native speakers.
I'm going to show it in my thing.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
just
perfect. Perfect. So she'll show you exactly. But so, a lot of people are saying, well, what am I doing here? Right? Where's my voice in all of this? Okay, so I create my own partner chats where I tell the students exactly what I want out of them. My own videos are in here. You'll see a lot. This was me and Are you from Venezuela?
No.
Oh, I thought my Venezolana partner. We were here showing students how to do a partner chat. You'll see this video that we created. But I have a lot of my own videos in here. I'm sure a lot of you have your own PowerPoints that you created from over the years, right? You can embed those right in here or on Canvas or both. I have things in both places a lot, right? It may be redundant, but they're going to find it. Okay. Here are my own exams, what we were talking about before of creating your own exams on the super site. I do all of my testing on the super site. I know it sounds like you guys are not allowed to do that. We'll talk about some other ideas that I have in the second part of my presentation. Notes to students. These are all over the super site for me personally. So for example, I'll show you I just grabbed a couple of examples of mine. But so for example, where we know students are going to make mistakes, right? They're going to write 21 países or 20, whatever they write, and I just all over the place, note from Profe Marques. Now you can do these written or orally. You can have lots of spoken notes as well, right? And I put that all over the super site. I think right here, for example, this is on a virtual chat. And there's all sorts of, hey students, this is a virtual chat. This is a simulated conversation in which you control the pace as you respond to a series of questions. Blah, blah, blah. Once the speaker starts asking you questions, you must complete the whole activity. Don't worry, you can record it as many times as you like. That's a setting that you control. If you want them to do it many times or once or 2 times or whatever, and that's me within the super site. So let me see if I have, is there a question? What's that?
It says you can control the pace as you respond. I guess you control how quickly the next question comes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Record it and then stop.
Because questions my students ask me, can I slow them down? But that's, okay. Just want to make sure that's not,
No, they can't slow them down.
I just wanted to make sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But they control the pace of the conversation, right? Okay. Let me see. Let me show you. Let me get out of here and show you a little bit of this. And I think I'm going to address a little bit of your issues with the questions of when they still don't know how to do something, right? Like I watched the tutorial, I read this, and I'm still lost. Okay. So let's take a peek at, how do I get out of here? Okay. Let me get over here. Okay, so, gosh, this got small all of a sudden. All right, there's 101. So in the announcements, what I will do in an announcement, let me go into week 4, for example. So this is a 101 class. Okay, let me show you a different one, actually. This one has links out to PowerPoints, but let me go, I want to show you a 102. Let me go to this class. I have to remember what is in each class. Here. Week 3, okay. Okay.
Students.
So we can see here on some of the what I do in the weekly announcements I showed you before, where I pointed out the tech advice, right? But look at this kind of thing that we can add into our weekly announcements. I put these in my weekly announcements. Some people put them on that overview page, right? The weekly overview. I try to keep that weekly overview very clean with the bullets, right? But look at this, for example, common mistakes, right? Here are some of the common mistakes I saw on our last discussion board. You know, the me llamo es stuff, right? Yo soy 20 años. Right? You know, the typical stuff that we see. Okay? Then I oftentimes will go over a difficult concept in the tips. So for example, the subject, the pronouns, we know that they all get mixed up with the subject, the direct object, the indirect, the reflexive, they're all a mess, right? So then look at all the links out, that I'm linking them out to. Here's, okay, third person and singular plural are the danger zones, right? Let's review direct object pronouns, indirect object pronouns, reflexive pronouns. Then I give them links out to the other topics that we're studying for that week. So, and then some of you might say, well, what are those linking out to, right? Well, look what they're linking out to. Do these look familiar to you?
Pages in the textbook.
Well, they're actually PowerPoints, right? So now, not only are they getting the weekly overview with what they're supposed to be doing, they're getting the tutorials, they're getting any extra videos that you might be providing them with, but then they're also seeing it in another way, which is just the PowerPoints.
Is this a deep embed, or did you just download those from the resources and
Uploaded them to the super site. I mean, not to the super site, Canvas.
Yeah. Do you save those under files?
Let me show you. Files. Let's look at the back end here. Okay, I have all of this course documents, course images, VHL grammar PowerPoints. And I have them all right here.
That's for you to access or the students to access?
I could give it access to the students, but
Just for you to organize.
this is for me to organize.
And that would be something that maybe we could have copied over from Blackboard. And then
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't give, if you can notice my menu, they have very minimal things that they can see. I don't want to get them lost, right? If I gave them access to the files, it's just, again, that overwhelming.
And also notice that she put everything on PDF, all the, instead of PowerPoint. PowerPoint takes a lot of memory if you did it like that.
Everything's PDF in here. When you come into the back end, you'll see, look at all my course documents.
How do you?
All
Yeah,
PDF.
save your PowerPoint as a PDF? Does the file
Either
save us?
File save as.
Print and then save as PDF, or just convert it to PDF, whichever you.
And it takes all the slides and turns it into
Yes.
individual.
A PDF.
Yes.
If you look at,
That's the simple.
When I present at conferences, I usually take everything on PDF because it's much easier to present. I don't care about the animation. Animation is boring and it takes up a lot of.
see, this is just,
Yep,
this is the PowerPoint on PDF. Yep.
got it. Brilliant.
So, and then another thing, how you asked about, well, do they just have access to all these files? Well, can you imagine the student looking at this and going, oh yeah, Lesson 9.1, that is said versus estar, right? But if I link it out to them, right? Hey, this week we're studying ir and ser, right? Then there it is for them. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're studying 7.3 this week. What does that mean? So that's another resource for you, right? To share. And when I get those questions of, I still don't get it, then I give them a bullet point list. Have you done this, 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 and this? And just give them a list of things to do. And then my final one is meet me on Zoom for office hours. And nobody usually takes me up on that. Or for counseling, yes.
In
Therapy session.
Yeah.
So, okay, y'all, I'm going to stop talking now because I've been talking a lot to you, and I'm going to let Miss Chris come up and talk to you about videos? No. Is that yours?
Assessing.
Oral
Can
assessment.
I use your dongle? Can I use your plugin?
Is that the HTML cord?
The dongle for the Mac to the screen.
Oh, yeah. This?
Okay.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that's what it was called. Wow. I'm like, my what?
I call it adapter.
Charlotte, do you want this recorded on GoTo?
Yeah, I mean, why not just continue on?
The problem is that she's now going to use her computer.
Okay, so just, I think it's fine, just go ahead and.
Should I pause it?
Yeah, pause it.
Okay.
We've got the other camera recording.
Recording again. So I'm Chris Sparks-Early. I teach at Nova at the Manassas campus. I've been there for 23 years now and have been through lots and lots and lots of changes, like all of us have, because they always push us to change something. One thing I'm very interested in is assessment. And I have done a lot of reading and research and attended lots of conferences on assessing students. And the one area that I feel I need the most help in and where I should focus more is with oral proficiency. So I have just some tips, tricks, suggestions for you for assessing your students orally, but specifically recording those assessments, even if it's face-to-face, hybrid blended, or online. So I don't know about you, but this is what I'm constantly hearing in my head when I'm in the classroom. I feel like the clock is just constantly ticking, and we changed our credits from 5 to 4 for 101, 102. So now we're in the classroom less minutes, and we still have to teach everything that we're teaching. And we're going to go through a change in the fall where we're going to use a book for 3 semesters and then another book for 1 semester. So that means that we're going to have to cover another chapter. So that clock is going to be even louder for me, for us, I think. But we still have to assess our students. And the one area that I feel gets pushed often is the oral assessments. And culture, many times, other people tell me that culture is the hardest thing for them to teach and to assess. So how can we alleviate a little bit of this pressure that we have assessing our students? And if you're doing it online, how can we do it? So I have the how, where, when, and why, and I'm going to work them backwards and start with the why. I can't speak for all of you, but from January until February, we had 5 cancellations, at least 6 delays, and then if it's a hybrid class and you're canceled on the day you're in class, you've lost them.
that week, you can count it as gone, because we know you can put everything online, but they say, well, I didn't get it, so I just wanted to wait until we were together again. So then we're behind, and then that clock is right here again, just pounding in my ear. Another reason, some of us might have really large class sizes, and if you're looking at 25, 27 students and you have an hour and 40 minutes, you can't get to all of those students. If you're doing individual interviews, or even if you're doing groups of 2, that time just goes. It just goes away from us. And also, depending on the type of assessment you're giving, you might not be able to interrupt what they're doing to pull them out somewhere else. And then let's talk about logistics. The reason we're being forced to teach online and hybrid blended is because the math department needs your classroom. So they're forcing us to teach hybrid classes to free up a physical space. So then where do you take these students to do an oral exam? If you're in the hallway, there's 20 million distractions and it's too noisy, which is not a bad thing. And my defense for that with the students is, well, when you land at the airport in Mexico City and you need to rent a car, everyone's not going to shush for you to speak and listen. You know, there has to be background noise. So you have to get used to people walking past you and the door opening and closing. But it does add that stress. And then we have to think about the effective filter and all of those things that go into assessing. And then also, we just can't skip the oral part. We just can't, because in the big scheme, when I hear students say, I took 4 semesters of Spanish and the only thing I know how to say is, hola, ¿dónde está el baño? J'aime le plage. And that's all they know how to say. You think, my goodness, you know, that's the only thing that's stuck, or that's the only thing, what, why? So it makes me crazy. But I know we all have our own clock that might be ticking for different reasons in our heads. So the when of assessing our students, what if we do it outside of the classroom? That gives time in the classroom for the other parts of the assessment, for other things, but it does mean that you have to be available outside of your teaching day, your office hours, your life outside of the 4 walls of our institutions. But we know that we do that all the time anyway. We're available all the time. So do you assess with every assessment, the oral component, or are you doing it twice a semester? Are you doing it just at the end? And I would recommend trying to do it with every assessment if the clock is not pounding you. I know it's hard, but making them comfortable in speaking every assessment where they know they're going to get graded will get them more comfortable. Sometimes you have to give them just a little push, just a little push. Where? So that's what I'm going to show you are some places that are free. One of them is paid. Hopefully it'll be free for all of us. But here are some free places that you can record your students. So let me ask the question, why am I pushing the recording? Why do I think recording them is important?
Well, you can play it back. So if you're
And
grading it.
they can track their progress too. They can go back to see the first one.
And there is evidence.
Perfect. If you're distracted by something and you need to rewind to hear what they said, you can rewind it. If you want to do a portfolio, a growth portfolio, the I can statements from ACTFL, students have their own growth, and you have evidence. You have evidence. If a student complains, or if a student wants to say, how can I improve? Or you need to show it to a dean or a counselor or whatever, you have the evidence. I give them a follow-up activity with their oral exams where they have to transcribe themselves, not their partner, because sometimes that's just too much, but they have to transcribe themselves and correct any mistakes that they hear. And the first time they do it, they roll their eyes and they run to rate my professor and say I'm the most horrible, demanding teacher in the whole wide world ever. But after they do it, they really like it. And they say, oh my goodness, as soon as the words were coming out of my mouth, I knew it was wrong. And then you have to calm them down and say, well, yeah, of course, that happens to us in English, in our native language, whatever that may be. When you say, the other day I went to the mall, you correct yourself and you move on. And sometimes you know it's wrong before it even reaches your mouth. And this happens in every language, but the students don't quite get that sometimes. So recording it, I think, is key. And then it's just a homework grade. The transcription part, that is a homework grade. That's not part of their assessment grade for me. But you can certainly make it whatever type of grade you want to do. Okay, so the first one is Skype. Skype is free and it allows 25 people. So you can invite 25 people to a Skype call. There are some issues you were telling us. Sometimes the more people on there, depending on your bandwidth and all of that, that could mess up the system. The bad thing is that you cannot record a Skype call. However, there is a way, and I'm going to show us how you can record your screen. So you would have to open up another application like QuickTime, Screencast-O-Matic, or Jing, which is now called something else. And I have it on the handout, what they call it now, where you could record your Skype call. And I have an example to show us of that also. Actually, it's on that Google Drive. I'll show you. Zoom, my personal favorite. Donna loves it. Some of us in the VCCS are going to get it in Canvas for free. Our institution has not told us yet. Right now, I'm paying $149 a year because I like it so much, and hopefully with the taxes, it's going to help a little bit. Who knows? A Zoom recording that allows up to, with the basic plan, you can invite 100 participants. Now that's ridiculous, right? But at least you can have 2 students together, 3 students together, maybe 4, depending on your level of the course you're teaching, whatever you want to do. You can record a Zoom conference, and then it sends you the link that you send to your students to see. So let's see if this link works. I just did an oral exam with my student on my online class.
Your font. Yeah, but it's just black screen.
And this was a setting issue, my fault. When I set up the call, I had it set to start recording immediately, and I shouldn't have, because we had to figure out that he could see the image. So it recorded all of us trying to get me organized. So I gave the student this image.
We're not looking at your image. You can't see.
Copy and paste what you want.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that. Does anyone know how to get this to go to what I'm seeing?
Copy and paste, copy.
No, but she already has it on
Oh,
her screen.
drag it to the other screen.
Yeah. She wants to go back to her.
Oh, yeah, you have to go out of the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a black screen right now. And so do you, right?
There you go.
There we go.
Takes time.
Okay. But I don't know what browser it opened.
Chrome.
I don't think it was Chrome.
Maybe you can just right click it. Like right click the link.
Yeah, and you can.
Okay, we'll go old school.
Mhm.
Emphasis on old again.
Not too wrong.
Here we go.
Hey.
All right. So with the Zoom call, are all of you familiar with it? I won't take up the time if you're all familiar with.
I know.
No, okay.
Okay.
So you control the screen. We can see it now. Okay, you control the screen, and so I put up this image with the instructions in a Word document. Now you could do it on a PowerPoint slide. You can do it in anything, and then the student and I
see something now.
You see an image?
Yep.
Okay. Is it third person?
Sure.
When each person speaks, the camera
It wouldn't be
Don't tell my teacher.
Yeah. All right.
You select the time that you want to be talking to the student?
Yes. So he's one of my online students.
I took the test yesterday, and
It's a little slow. He's one of my online students. Now,
and tener.
I mean, I'm really bad-mouthing the way we do things, but I'll beg for forgiveness later. The way our online classes are currently set up at our institution is that there isn't a real oral exam. There is a voice thread assignment. So this is what we get for oral exams. Hello, my name is Chris. I am a student at Nova. That's not an oral exam. That's a reading exam. And we've argued this 50 ways up and down the stream. So I have said, no, we are doing real oral exams.
How do you schedule them?
I put up a chart on Blackboard and I say, these are the times available. These are the times I'm available.
Yeah.
Pick your time.
You can use Calendly, which is, you can add the link to Canvas and students can sign up.
What's it called?
Calendly as in calendar, and then ly.com. And it is free, and you can have one for, I think it's up to one for free, one.
How wonderful. Okay.
Schedule for.
Yeah. Great. Great. You can also
put a wiki page on Canvas. At the bottom says who can edit this, professors and students. And if you put it there, you don't have to do anything else. And students can sign up.
And that's one of the things available to us in Canvas. That's fantastic. No.
Yes.
It's part of Canvas now,
Yeah.
or it's not something that you
It is
signed up
part
for?
of Canvas. It is
Okay.
not Calendly, but
That's
the
what I'm
wiki
saying.
page.
Wiki pages.
You can set up a page
That's what she was talking about
on
now.
Canvas as a wiki page. That means that anybody can contribute to it and just give the instruction, sign up for a time.
Mm-hmm. You could do a doodle poll, a survey monkey. There's lots of ways. I find it easier because I've done it so many times. I put up the times I'm available, 15 minutes. You don't need more than 15 minutes. They sign up and off you go. Okay, so this is the Zoom. Hopefully I've fast forwarded enough.
So there is or there are.
He had questions. I didn't. Okay, here it has to work now. Right here.
I just don't recall it becoming.
He was upset because ponerse.
Okay, so all fiction, all ad.
Okay. Boy,
¿Qué tal el restaurante? ¿Es bueno? ¿Es malo?
Sí, es bueno. Adentro es muy cómodo, como mi casa.
Ajá.
Pero solo normal.
Okay, so you get the idea. Now, I know he's not cheating because he's never seen this before. I showed it to him. I can also watch his face. I know he's not holding anything in his hand. It's a valid oral exam. So this is with Zoom. So if you have it already, it's free to you. If not, it's $149 a year. You could submit it for taxes.
When you have 149 is for one person or for the whole group?
For me, one person.
And if you are, good with it, you can share it. I allow my colleagues in Mexico and other countries to use my own